What's up, y'all? It's me. Today's a big day for me. Today, I am 8 weeks sober. Very excited about that. Very, very excited about that. 8 weeks sober is a big milestone for me. I'm enjoying it a lot. I want to give a recap on some of what's worked and what's not worked for me on my sobriety journey. This is me personally, right? In my cup today, I have green tea. One of my favorites. So, off the bat, I'll say that what I'm sober off of for this 8 weeks, specifically marijuana and steroids, a good amount of both. I'm about 5 years now off of painkillers, specifically Percocet. I used to take a lot of them. What's helped me in this recent journey, the last 8 weeks, has been to exercise every day, 2 times a day, sometimes 3. Has been to eat a lot cleaner than I have in the past. Has been to focus on positive things that I feel like are a good usage of my time. I like to wake up a little earlier so that I can go to bed a little earlier now than I used to. I've been playing a little more video games along with my work because I notice I'm a lot more efficient and I have a lot more time. I had to take a beta blocker for a few weeks because my anxiety and blood pressure and heart rate were kind of out of control, especially those first few weeks where I hopped off of drugs. Now that I'm on week 8, I haven't taken anything for a good few weeks now. And the doctor I saw asked me to consider SSRIs to hop on. I have a couple of friends that are on them that have some very good results. But I can feel in my heart that I just would rather not if I can avoid it. So since I've made it this far and I feel like I did stabilize out and I start to feel normal again, which I can remember all I wanted was to feel normal the first 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks when I quit drugs. I do feel normal. I feel like myself. I feel like I'm able to watch whatever movies, think about whatever, and my thoughts and body isn't going to be out of control or unfamiliar to me, which anybody who's experienced withdrawal or that transition will get what I mean. I did have some underlying CPTSD or PTSD that I've had to deal with and sort with, that I've had to find other ways to cope with and manage. I think exercise, food, and also cutting out anything that gives me a bad vibe has been very helpful. No disrespect to anybody, but there's a lot of people, places, and things that I used to go and interact with that are no longer for me, I can feel. And sometimes that's tough because sometimes you lose things that you think you wanted access to. And sometimes it's really nice and positive where it's like, this was a negative thing that I wasn't able to say no to before that now I can say no to. So it's been a very positive experience. I would never go back. I have no intention of hopping on an SSRI if I can avoid it. Talk therapy has been very helpful for me. EMDR has been very helpful for me, definitely. I highly recommend it. And just focusing, staying committed, staying disciplined, remembering why I'm doing this and what it felt like when I was in the hospital afraid or when my body was turning against me and I really didn't know what to do or what was causing it. Very helpful to kind of lock in and see and make sure that I don't lose progress. You just take it one day at a time. I've enjoyed kind of counting the days and watching the days pile up. That's been fun for me. Some people might be better without tracking it, but every day that I stay sober feels like a huge win for me. And that's the foundation of my goals right now. And then after that, I look at everything else. So the same way that I used to do drugs and think, well, even if everything goes to shit, at least I'm high. Kind of the opposite is now where, even if I don't get anything else right in a day, if I don't do drugs, that was a good day compared to a day that, I affected my sobriety or went back on the escalator downwards that I used to be on, right? So 8-week update, my mood is much more stable. I feel less angry, but also less tired. I noticed at first I had this huge burst of energy I was very anxious. I was very angry. I had all this energy. I was eating an extra meal or two a day to fuel that. And then it pulled back, did the opposite, where I had a tough time getting out of bed. I had a tough time accomplishing very mundane, menial tasks for me. And now I do feel like I've leveled out and found a baseline that I would like to keep going. And now I just have to not forget how difficult life will become for me if I do choose to go backwards and use those substances again. So, my body has been craving things like cigarettes. My body, every time I smell weed, my body's like, come on, don't you miss it. Whenever I'm in the gym and I see a big juiced up motherfucker, I might get a little bit of FOMO, right? But then I remember my fear of missing out. All I'd be missing out on personally, since I have tried it myself, is a path straight to death or incarceration for me personally. So I have some friends in the program that I will also mention. I went to a handful of meetings, and those really were not for me. The only times I really felt the need to really get high was right after I leave one of those meetings. So I felt like it wasn't a good idea for me to participate in those and really do those. So I'm going to opt out of those. No disrespect if they work for you. Maybe when I feel solid, I'll go in at a year sober to talk to other people, but it feels a little disingenuous to go into a program to talk about sobriety when the program didn't really, contribute to mine. So for what that's worth. But my personal issues with that is most of them are in a church, and anybody that knows me knows that I'd rather not go to a church. So that's enough of that. But 8 weeks sober, very proud of it. I highly recommend it to anybody who hasn't tried it. It's a little tough at first, but then you'll have access to clarity and power and sensibility that is inaccessible otherwise. So I highly recommend it. I was worried that I'd become less creative, that I'd become less animalistic or bestial, that I'd become less anything that I really wanted to be. I was worried that I would lose that edge a little bit, but I forgot that those drugs were to take the edge off. So my edge has only become sharper and more on point since I've decided to cut those things out of my life. You know what I mean? I've only become more me for what it's worth. I highly recommend it to anybody who hasn't tried it yet. I'm trying not to dilly-dally or waste time, and I'll talk about why. I've converted to a diet that is very inspired by kind of the Paleo diet, but also what I can find somebody like Kobe Bryant ate, who I have a lot of respect for him, and I know there was a lot of science and thought put into his routine and his diet and those different things. And I'll just run you through what a day of eating kind of looks like for me now. So I'll wake up, I'll have a smoothie, which is inspired by Dr. Sebi. The one that I'm on right now that I'm liking a lot is coconut milk, unsweetened, mixed with mango, mixed with banana, mixed with kale, with a little agave syrup to sweeten it up a little bit. That's been my favorite. I really love that smoothie quite a lot. And then the first meal I'll have after I hit my workout, after that I'll go hit the stairs for an hour and do my 50 knuckle push-ups on asphalt. Then I'll come home and I'll eat my breakfast, which is, right now it's a breakfast burrito with some eggs in there, some sausage in there, and a little bit of cheese, and that's pretty much it for that meal. I'll drink that with green tea, and then I'll also sip on some bone broth. I've been drinking a good amount of bone broth, and I like that a lot. I know there's a lot of hype around it, but I also typically try to avoid the things that they're hype about, but this one's on point. This one was real. This one works. I already kind of feel a difference in my joints, especially my wrists and my knuckles, because I use those a lot. My elbows, my knees, I feel a difference in my digestion. My reflux has gotten considerably better. So then for lunch, I'll have salmon. Sometimes I'll mix rice with that. And then for dinner, I'll have either chicken or beef mixed with quinoa. And the reason why I'm keeping a good pace and talking about that is that's actually some of my salmon getting ready. You can tell I'm a little later on my meals today, so technically this is my lunch. But I'm going to go ahead and pull that salmon out of the oven, mix it with a little bit of sushi rice, and sip on some bone broth, and that's going to be my meal for today. But if anybody's interested in talking to me, my Instagram is Andrew_Prometheus. My that's about it. You can send me a message on there if you want. I'll always reply. Anybody who's interested in talking about sobriety, who's interested in my workout program, my diet program, trying to start their own coaching business, trying to grow it up to the point where, I have mine, where you're able to do that full time. Whatever it is that you want to do, I'm available to you as a resource. You know what I mean? One of the things I'll teach you how to do is not work for free anymore. So, unless your goal is to truly volunteer, I can teach you how to not work for free and to get paid for your passion or for your work. So 8 weeks sober, very excited about that. Off of everything. I'm allowing myself to consume a little caffeine in the form of that green tea. And I'm back to taking a stimulant-free pre-workout. I'm probably going to pick up a creatine this weekend and maybe a protein powder. And that's about all I'm going to supplement, which I'm very proud of since I used to take a lot of steroids. So if you have any questions about anything, please let me know. If you want to hate on me, give me some love, whatever it is in the comments, they're always open. I'll do my best to reply to everybody. And for now, Prometheus out. Stay safe, stay dangerous now.